Good evening and welcome back for Game 15 of the USWRA Low Point Wheelchair Rugby National Championships, hosted by Rise Adaptive here at the Georgia-Farrow Recreation Center in Irving, Texas. This is the final game of Day 2 and also the final game of pool play. That means tomorrow, as we roll into our last three games, will be seeding games. We begin in the morning with seed number 6 versus number 5. Then number 3 versus number 4, and then the championship game, which obviously will determine the national champion for Low Point Rugby. So thank you for joining us tonight, where we have Magee-MedStar taking on the Grand Rapids Thunder for this last game of the evening. Magee-MedStar is ready for the tip, and here comes the Thunder to join them. Opening tip-off is up. Engelby gets a hand on it, and Thunder wins the tip. Number 13 rolls around the left side, and he's driving toward the goal. Opening try scored by Grand Rapids Thunder. Steven takes the inbound, but it gets stripped by Ryan Engelby. Out of bounds, and it will be Grand Rapids Thunder ball. Magee-MedStar isn't hanging out in the key. They're playing a press defense. As Robbie comes and locks number 13 for the Thunder up. He's able to back out of it. He's looking for an outlet. Can he find anybody? Bounces the ball out for Ryan Engelby to come back and grab the ball. Steven and Robbie double teaming him. Dumps the ball off to number 13. Weaves his way through the crowd for the try. Nate is on the inbound for Magee-MedStar. Puts a high pass over the top for Steven, but he can't bring it in. It's off his hand, and that's a turnover. It'll be Thunder ball. Engelby takes the inbound. Steven in coverage, but he's getting picked out. Engleby's working his way around the right side, is able to squeeze in for the try. Robbie puts up a deep bump, looking for Nate. Nate has to come back to it, but he's got it. Crosses up into the front court. He's going to outrace everyone for the opening try for Magee-MedStar. Oh, we have a player overturned back here in the backcourt, so we're going to take a brief timeout to get him righted. That's Steven from Magee-MedStar. All right, as we resume play, the Thunder will inbound from the corner now instead. Number 13 for the Thunder takes the inbound out of the corner, and he's working his way back to the left side. He's got lots of space, cuts back center, rolls it all the way back to the right side of the court, but he's looking for an outlet. Bounces it up. He was looking for Engelby, but he can't bring it in, and Steven takes the ball for Magee-MedStar. Drives it all the way back in for the try. Engleby's hanging out low, looking for the inbound. He takes it. Now he's looking for an outlet. Drops the ball off to number 13, who weeds his way back to the center. He's got lots of room in front of him, but Nate is closing in quick. Steven comes in over the top and stops him. 13 loses the ball, but 7 is there to pick it up. Weaves his way along the right sideline before dropping it off to Engelby, who will take it in on the right side of the key for the try. Robbie inbounds to Nate Lowe for Magee-MedStar. Nate works his way back left before weaving around to the center of their court. Good stop on the double and the right side of the front court by Engelby and number 7. Steven comes around to take the ball off his hands. Puts it over his back to Nate, who is still working his way out of the crowd. Timeout, Magee-MedStar. Steven inbounds the ball to Robbie for Magee-MedStar. Thunder have dropped back to defend the key. Robbie puts the ball into Nate, but Nate can't bring the pass in and rolls off his hands out of bounds. It will be Thunder ball. Number 7 will inbound the ball for the Thunder out of the corner. Gets it into Engelby, who drops it back to number 7. Ooh, bobbles and loses the ball. Steven is fighting with number 13 for it. Let's see who comes up with it. Steven has the ball for Magee-MedStar. Wheels his way around the right side to shuffle in for a try. Engelby takes the inbound again and once again drops it back to number 7. He's getting slammed hard by Steven down low, turns him back around. He's wheeling him all the way around in circles as he dumps the ball back off to Engelby, who has room on the right side to run. Dumps up a long dribble, and it's taken away by Nate of Magee-MedStar. Nate wheels himself off the pick. He's looking for room on the left side. Puts the ball up to Steven in the front court, who works his way off of the pick from number 7, trying to cross his way back to the center through traffic, and then dumps the ball off to Robbie. Robbie pushing in. He's getting contact, but he makes it through for the try. Magee-MedStar has come back and tied this game up early. As number 7 looks for Engelby again on the inbounds. Engelby drops it back to number 7, works his way around to the right side. He's jammed up by Steven. Steven swipes the ball away, but 13 is able to close on it and recover. He will take it in for the try. Robbie will come down to the baseline to inbound for Magee-MedStar. Dumps it into Nate. Wheels behind him, looking for room in the center, doesn't find it, so he crosses back to that left sideline. Closes up on him again, so he was working back up to the center. He's jammed up in traffic. Tosses the ball out, but it's deflected by number 22. Nate is able to recover it and call a timeout, though. Robbie inbounds the ball to Steven for Magee-MedStar. Steven pushes his way back to the middle of the court, dumps up, looks for Nate for an outlet. Nate brings it in and is able to score the try. Number 7 comes down on the baseline to inbound for the Grand Rapids Thunder. Robbie's able to get his fingertips on that one and deflect it out of bounds. And we're looking for Ingleby, but Robbie had other ideas. And it's Magee-MedStar ball. Steven will inbound to Robbie this time from the sideline. Robbie's working his way back to the center, but gets jammed up in traffic. Everyone's jammed up in traffic now, but he dumps it off to Nate, who's working against Ingleby. Nate turns back to the right side of the court. Weaves his way back to the center. He's getting spun around on the defense. Nate finds a gap in the middle, tries to shoot it, but it closes up on him, so he drops it off to Robbie, who's able to back in for the try. Magee-MedStar has their first lead of the game. Another low inbound from number 7 to Ingleby. Ingleby's looking for outlets, but they're all hung up. So he backs it out himself, but is able to get to 13, who's now free, and then dumps it off to number 7, who's free on the left side. Robbie comes up and stops him in the front court, but he dumps it back to Ingleby with Nate in coverage. He's trying to back his way in for the try. Oh, he does not. Looks like he got a wheel out of bounds before he's able to get 2 wheels over the try line. Magee-MedStar will take over on possession. Robbie inbounds to Steven, low on the post. Steven's got a double team by Ingleby and number 7. So he bumps it out to Nate. Wheels his way around. He's looking for room on the left side. He's got lots of space over there. He takes it into the front court. 413 catches up with him and jams it back up. Ingleby comes along for assistance. Nate's working his way back around on the left side, but isn't able to advance up the court. He's got his back turned to the rest of his team, so Steven comes around to take the ball off of him. On the left side, it's Steven versus Ingleby. And Steven takes his timeout for Magee-MedStar. Robbie will take the inbound off the sideline for Magee-MedStar. He dumps it off to Steven on the right side. Steven gives it back to Robbie as Robbie works back up to the middle. And the Thunder fall in to defend the key. Robbie works back to the right. 7's got his hand on the ball. Oh, that's an 8-second no dribble penalty on number 2. Number 7 will inbound from the corner from the Grand Rapids Thunder. 13 is moving in space and takes the inbounds off of him. Cuts back underneath, and he's driving up the center. Moving to the right, it's a race between him and Nate, but Nate is able to catch up and cut him off in the front court. 7 comes in to help on the block, but then so does Steven on defense. 13's got himself a gap between the two and takes it all the way in for the try. Robbie inbounds to Steven. Spins his way around the center. He's looking for a gap in traffic. Gets jammed back up into it. Everyone's on one place, so he puts it up high. Trying to get it to Nate, but it's out of bounds. It will remain Magee-MedStar ball. Steven takes the inbound, but he bobbles it. Nate is there to recover, though. But he's stuck down low against the baseline by Ingleby. He dumps the ball back off looking for Steven, but instead number 7 finds it and bumps it to Ingleby, who passes it off to number 13. Looking for space on the left side, doesn't have it, so he dumps it back to Ingleby. Ingleby's jammed up. Finds number 13 again, but 13 is not able to bring it in. Ball bounces out of bounds. It'll be Magee-MedStar ball. Steven can't handle the inbounds. It's off his hands. Now the ball is jammed up between Dave and Ingleby, but Steven is able to reach down and come back up with it. Passes ball up to Nate. I'm not sure what the call was, but it's now Grand Rapids Thunder ball. Ingleby has the ball, directing his team. Stevens on the defense, but he gets picked out. Ingleby takes the ball, fall to the right side, cuts back in, shoots the C gap, and gets the try. Nate takes the inbound on the left side. He's got lots of open space, but 13 is closing fast. 13 is able to get him to turn around, but then Nate has Steven open, or he was open until Ingleby got a mid in there and swatted the ball away. It will still be a Magee-MedStar ball as Robbie goes to the sideline to inbound it for Magee-MedStar. Nate takes the inbound, works his way around on the left side, trying to find a gap behind number 7, and he gets it. Ingleby will take the inbound for the Thunder. Drops a floater into 13, who's content to just hold onto the ball and wait out the end of the first period. So at the end of our first period of play here in game 15, it's all tied up at 7 between the Grand Rapids Thunder and Magee-MedStar. As we come on into the second quarter, Robbie comes to the sideline to inbound the ball for Magee-MedStar, and he finds Nate streaking up across the court for the first try. Number 7 inbounds to Ingleby. He was on a double team, but he's able to back out of it and find some open space. Moving around is the right. Steven comes over in coverage, so Ingleby drops it off to number 13 in the front court. 13 wheels it all the way in for the try. Rugby isn't available to inbound for Magee-MedStar. He's got himself picked up pretty good by number 22 on the Grand Rapids Thunder. Instead, Dave will inbound for Magee-MedStar. Steven takes it low. He works his way up the right side of the court. He's got lots of free space in front of him, but Ingleby is closing fast. Ingleby turns him around in the front court. And then Dave comes in to block out the back of Ingleby. Number 7 rolls around to stop Steven. Steven squirms around, trying to wheel around. Now he's just getting his dribbles in and looking for an outlet. A whole lot of options for him so far. As he turns around, Dave is waiting for him in the corner to pick up a pick, but 13 comes around to stop him. But there's Robbie. Robbie catches the pass, but also gets called for an out and in. That'll be no goal for Magee-MedStar. Thunder ball. Ingleby takes the inbounds on the sideline, gets dangerously close to that sideline before working his way back to the center and dumping the ball up to number 13. 13 passes back to Ingleby on just this side of the midcourt line, and then comes around to take the ball back from Ingleby and not score a try. Looks like he also went out and in. Robbie will inbound for Magee-MedStar out of the corner. It was a tough pass, and number 13 with the Thunder comes down with the ball instead. Trying to work his way around and wants to dump the pass off to Ryan. It's a little off, but Ryan's able to correct and come up with the ball. He works his way on the left side, but he's guarded by Steven, but puts the ball over to 13, who takes it in this time for a try. Robbie takes the ball back for Magee-MedStar, and he's working up towards the middle of the court. Jams back into Ingleby. Slows him down, but he's still got a little motion. Instead, he puts it over the top to no one in particular for Ingleby to go chase back down. Ingleby crosses back over in the front court, pauses, gets his dribble, and waits for his opportunities to present themselves, and it does in the form of number 13. He takes the ball from him, wiggles his way around, looking for space in the middle, doesn't find it, so he drops it back to Ingleby. Ingleby rams up into the back of Nate and is able to push Nate out of bounds for a penalty try. Robbie inbounds to Steven, but Steven, he bobbles a little bit, but is able to bring it back in. Steven launches it over the top. Robbie's chasing after, but 13 is in hot pursuit. Robbie's able to wrangle it in, and they get stopped by number 13. 13 is swatting at it. Robbie better hold on to that ball. It looks like Robbie is able to draw a reaching penalty on number 7 from the Grand Rapids Thunder. So number 7 will come make himself acquainted again with the penalty box. Steven inbounds off the sideline for Magee-MedStar. He's looking for Nate. Finds Nate. Oh, but Nate was in the backcourt. That's an over and back penalty on Magee-MedStar on the inbound. So now for the Grand Rapids Thunder, number 22 will come to the sideline to inbound. Ingleby takes the inbound pass from 22 and immediately starts making for the right side of the goal. Opportunities in there, so he backs out, crosses over with Steven in coverage. He's dragging his team, picks up a nice pick for number 22 and is able to weave around Robbie and Nate for the try. Robbie inbounds to Steven, low for Magee-MedStar. Steven's able to work his way over the top of Ingleby and come towards midcourt. He's continuing on all the way into the front court and rolls his way in for the try. Number 7 inbounds, finds number 13, who's streaking down from the center of the court. Wheels her ways around to the outside and is riding that right-hand sideline. He will continue to ride that right-hand sideline all the way in for the try. Steven takes the inbound low for Magee-MedStar and gets hung up on 22. He's able to back his way out of it. Turns around, faces up court, finds Robbie around middle court for an outlet pass. Robbie dumps it off to Nate. Ingleby takes the inbound low again for Grand Rapids Thunder and just starts backing his way up the court. Steven is chasing after him, but so far Ingleby finally gets stopped on the front part of the court and dumps the ball off to number 13 for the try. Robbie's coming down to the baseline to inbound for Magee-MedStar. Nate has himself double teamed facing the wrong direction up high, so he looks down low for Steven. Dumps the ball to Steven, then comes in for to block for him. Steven gets jammed up, puts the ball back over the top for Robbie, who will continue on into the front court with the ball. Robbie's got help from Dave and Steven. Oh, now Nate's free along the left side. Robbie sees it, throws a nice bounce pass straight to him, and he will have a try. Ingleby has the ball down low again, double teamed by Dave and Robbie. He's looking for an outlet, waiting for things to develop. 13 comes down around low. Well, it wasn't in time, so he calls a timeout. Number 7 will come to the corner to inbound the ball for the Grand Rapids Thunder. Ingleby takes the inbounds as Magee-MedStar drops back to defend the key. Ingleby weaves his way back and forth around the middle, tries to shoot for the B gap. He gets hung up on Nate, but is able to squeeze his way in for the try. Nate takes the inbounds, dumps it off to Dave, who attempts to get it back to Nate, but the ball is fumbled and recovered by Ingleby. Ingleby dumps the ball off to 13, who comes wheeling around the right side. Thanks to a nice pick from number 22, is able to take it all the way back in. Ooh, Nate attempts to field the inbound for Magee-MedStar, but it bounces off his hands and his face and out of bounds. Number 7 inbounds for the Thunder from the corner. Ingleby has the ball. Magee-MedStar is dropped back in the key again. Ingleby shoots for that C gap, but it closes up on him. Ingleby works his way back. He's looking for the B gap, but it's not there either. Magee-MedStar basically just shuffles their whole defense around. But that frees up number 13 on the corner for a try. Rugby finds Dave for the inbound, and this time the give and go works, but then some sort of miscommunication. Looks like he was trying to dump the ball off to Nate, but Nate turned his back, so it's off Nate's back out of bounds. It's a few turnovers in a row for Magee-MedStar, and Grand Rapids Thunder are looking to capitalize off of each one of them. As Ingleby takes the ball on the inbounds. Ingleby shooting around the right side, but there's a call from the refs. Not sure what it was the refs called, but it will remain Grand Rapids Thunder ball. As Ingleby takes the inbound again. Ingleby has eyes for that C gap behind the block of 13, but he turns off to go after B. Oh, 10 seconds on the key on Grand Rapids number 22. That's a turnover. Magee-MedStar will take over. Robbie inbounds out of the corner to Nate. Takes the ball and immediately dumps it off to Rishi. Rishi gets stopped just on the front side of midcourt line. Nate comes to take the ball back from him. It's one-on-one, Nate versus number 13, but Ingleby's coming in to assist. Nate drops the ball back off to Rishi. He gets jammed up into traffic. Dave backs up to be an outlet. Dave brings the ball in. He's backing his way. Gets a little bit of a push from 13, who spins him all the way around. Except he spun him around too far and put Dave right back into position to score a try. It's like Ingleby needs a new wheel, so we take a brief pause for an equipment swap. Ingleby has the ball down low and is working his way around to the right side. Cuts back toward the center and all the way back to the left. He's got room to spare, and he's got number 13 as an outlet on the front court. 13 brings the pass in and scores the try. Robbie has the inbounds for Magee-MedStar. Dumps it after Rishi down low on the left side. He works his way back center and gets the ball swatted by number 7. Regains it and puts a pass up to Nate about midway up the backcourt. Nate's working his way around to the left. They run out of time, so they have to call a timeout. Taking a brief equipment break as number 22 for Magee-MedStar gets his abdominal strap adjusted. for a lot of low pointers, they use these abdominal straps to basically keep them attached to their chair, depending on their level or of abdominal function or lack of abdominal function. Um, they use that basically to keep themselves upright in the chair instead of kind of falling forward. But every so often it comes loose or moves around and it needs adjustment. Robbie takes the inbound from Rishi as the Grand Rapids Thunder are defending from in the key. Number 22 is a little late for the party. He comes in on the backside of Robbie. Robbie's jammed up a little bit low. Bounces the ball out to Rishi to take it out and reset the play. Oh, Robbie's got to be careful. He's been in there for a while. Robbie drops in the pass, but it was just too long. He wasn't able, and that's to bring it in time. So that's a play clock violation, and it'll be Grand Rapids ball. Ingleby has the ball in the corner, and once again, he is backing his way up the court. Spins around, has a lot of open court in front of him. Nate's in a position to block. He comes back to block him, but Ingleby is able to dump the ball off to number 13, who can take it in for try. Rishi has the ball low for MedStar, driving up the left side. Finds Nate in the shallow front court. Nate dumps it back to Rishi, and Rishi bounces it right up to Robbie, but there wasn't enough time. The quarter is expired. So at the end of the first half, the Grand Rapids Thunder have jumped out to a 6-point lead over Magee-MedStar. As we get ready to kick off the second half of this game, number 7 comes out to inbound from the sideline for the Grand Rapids Thunder. Ingleby takes the inbound, puts the pass up, bounces around, but 13 is able to wrangle it in and drive it in for a try. Steven inbounds to Robbie for MedStar. He's covered by Ingleby, but he's able to wiggle around in the center. He's trying to find himself some space, and the defense drops the pass up to Steven, who catches up in the shallow front court and drives up on the right side. He's trying to find that corner, and he got it. Ingleby takes the inbound on low. He's double teamed by Dave and Steven, so he drops the ball up to 13, who doesn't have any defenders on him. He's working his way slowly up the right side, cuts back to center, but he has him and his own teammate 22 to help block for him, and is able to shoot around the right side for that try. Steven inbounds to Nate, coming down top center of the key. Nate spins back around, trying to find himself some space. Moves off to the left side, cuts back in the center, runs into Ingleby, so he dumps it off to Steven. Steven's looking for an outlet of himself, but it's too long. That was a 12-second violation on Magee-MedStar. Thunder will take over the ball. Number 7's looking for an outlet. He's got a lot of coverage. Magee-MedStar is playing a hard deny, so Grand Rapids is forced to take a timeout. Ingleby comes down close to the sideline to post up low as he gets doubled up by Nate and Dave. He got himself a nice open window for 7 to inbound the ball to him. We'll try and push Dave out of the way on the inbound. Doesn't. The ball bounces back around to number 13, who's working down the left side of the court. Cuts back center, looking for a gap. Shoots the gap, but gets jammed up between his own teammate and Robbie and Steven. There's a lot of hand fighting going on down there, and he loses the ball. Nate recovers the ball for MedStar Magee. He's stuck hard in traffic, so he bumps it out to Steven, who's able to throw a hook pass up deep down court, but it bounces off and out of bounds. Magee-MedStar retains possession as Steven comes in inbound for him. Dumps the ball off to Robbie. Robbie's working middle of the court against Ryan Ingleby. Dave comes in to help give him a little bit more space. He cuts back in. He's in danger of getting caught on that mid-court line, so he dumps the ball up high to Nate to take it all the way in for the try. Number 13 takes the inbound for Grand Rapids and has lots of space in front of him. He handily beats Robbie down the court for the try. Steven has the inbound for Magee-MedStar. Finds Nate coming deep along the right side as Nate swings around to the center and gets stopped by number 13 in Ingleby. He's still stuck up on Ingleby, so he dumps the ball back off to Steven, who launches it down court to nobody in particular. So the ball will bounce harmlessly out the opposite try line. Grand Rapids Thunder ball. Ingleby takes the inbounds in the corner for Grand Rapids. He's got a double team, so he's looking for an outlet. Finds number 13 around in the center of the court. 13 gets jammed up, so he dumps it off to number 22. Steven comes on to defend. Oh, that's a 12-second violation. It will be Magee-MedStar ball. Robbie takes the inbounds on the sideline for Magee-MedStar. Steven comes in to block for him on the left side of the key. Robbie shooting for that B gap. Is able to work his way right across the front of Ingleby for a try. Ingleby has the inbound down low. Once again, double team. Dumps it off to 7, who bobbles the ball a little bit, but is able to recover and push up along the right side with number 13 as blocking help. And 7's able to wheel it all the way in for the try. Robbie takes the inbound on the low right side of the court. Turns around to head up center. He's getting swiped by number 7, but he stops, so he dumps the ball off to Nate, who isn't able to wrangle it in at first. But on the second effort, gets it in, dumps it over the back of his head, over Steven's head, and out of bounds on the other end of the court. Ingleby takes the inbound down low in the corner again, dumps it right off to number 13. There's a whole lot of traffic down low, but Ingleby is able to find an escape route up the right sideline and works his way back center, but there's nobody around him. Ingleby's going to burn off a little bit of clock before a couple mid-star defenders, Steven and Dave, come to force him across that try line. Magee-MedStar takes a timeout. Steven will take the inbound for Magee-MedStar, but he's trying to find an outlet. Robbie's up high, so he launches it up over him. Ingleby is able to get a finger on it and bounce it out of bounds. Stays Magee-MedStar ball. And Steven calls for the inbound on the sideline. Steven dumps the ball off into the front court, but it bounces right into Ingleby. Ingleby can't bring it in, though, as the ball rolls freely back to the backcourt. Robbie recovers it. It gets jammed up between number 23 and Ingleby. Puts that ball down low. Let's see if Nate is able to bring it in. He's not, so they just kind of push it around on the floor until Robbie is able to come back up with it in the front court. Robbie puts it back to Nate. Nate's working one-on-one against 25, finds his way around him in the corner for the try. Inbound gets contested. Oh, Nate has just enough of a hand on it to force a jump against Ingleby. Robbie takes the inbound for Magee-MedStar down in the corner. Works his way back center. Robbie wants to shoot that B-gap, but he took a little bit too long, and it closes up on him between Ingleby and number 7. But Dave comes in for a nice corner pick, so he's able to back his way around him in for the try. Ingleby once again takes the inbound downs low, double team, dumps it off to number 25, who's got room to push and a blocker with number 22. And now he's got a free court to roll all the way in for the try. Robbie takes the over-the-top inbound from Steven, works his way back to the center of the court, driving against Ingleby. Steven comes along to help him do some blocking, but Ingleby gets some help of his own from number 25 and number 22. They force Robbie to turn back, dump the ball off to Nate, who himself gets forced to turn back just shy of the goal. But he finds Robbie in the corner, puts the ball over to him for the try. Ingleby double teamed again down low, takes the inbound, bounces it back to number 7. Number 7 has some open court to push at least up into the front court before he gets stopped by Nate. Drops the ball off to number 22, but he bobbles it. The ball is on the ground. There's a fight between lots of players, but Steven comes up with it. He tries to make a pass over 25, but it's deflected and rolls out of bounds. It will be Magee-MedStar ball. Robbie takes an over-the-top pass in the backcourt for Magee-MedStar, pushing his way against number 25 in the middle. Gets jammed up by 7 in the backcourt. Looks like we had a clock malfunction, so we're going to run that play over again. Robbie takes, it's going for the inbound, but it's stolen from him by Ingleby. Ingleby just backs his way all the way across the court for the try. Nate will come down to the baseline to inbound for Magee-MedStar. Looks for the give and go with Dave, but Dave isn't able to handle it. Drops it over his back, and it's recovered by Ingleby. Ingleby shoots the gap in front of Dave to score the try. Steven inbounds to Nate, but Nate isn't able to bring it in. Bounces off the front of his chair. Luckily for Nate, 25 isn't able to bring it in either. He loses it out of bounds, so it stays Magee-MedStar ball. Robbie inbounds from the sideline to Nate, who's working his way through traffic down low. Finds his way out of the back of the traffic to the right side of the court. Goes up center, puts the ball over Ingleby to Rishi, who will bring the ball in all the way for the try. Number 25 has the inbound for Magee-MedStar. Finds some space over on the right side of the court, but Rishi comes off to close it off. Over the top to Ryan Ingleby instead. Ingleby takes his time to burn some clock off before he scores a try. Rishi has the inbound low for Magee-MedStar. Working his way back up along the, or trying to work his way on the right sideline, but he loses the ball. Ball rolls toward the end zone. Ingleby is able to recover it just in time to score the try. Nate comes down to inbound for Magee-MedStar to Robbie on the far left side of the court. Robbie puts the ball back to Rishi coming across from center. Rishi works his way back to the center. Takes some contact. He's right on that line. He's got to be careful. Oh, no, that was an over and back against Rishi. It'll be Grand Rapids Thunder ball. Ingleby takes the inbounds. He only has one defender on him this time because the rest of them have dropped back into the key. Ingleby is aiming for that B gap, but it closes up on him. Instead, he takes it around to the corner and is able to push Robbie out for the penalty try. Rishi takes the inbound for Magee-MedStar, pushing his way up the left side of the court and runs into traffic again. Tries to put it back center to Robbie, but instead it's caught by number 22. Works it back, dumps the ball off to number 25, who's in a race to the left corner against Robbie, and he wins that race. Nate takes the ball on the lower right side of the court for MedStar. Looks to pass back to Rishi, but it's off Rishi's shoulders, out of bounds. Thunder lineup trying to get a quick goal. Instead, there's a penalty. Rishi got himself a 4 in the key penalty. So that gives the Thunder a little bit of advantage, trying to get a quick score as Ingleby lines up in the key. Ball goes to 25. He pushes like he's going to go in, dumps it off to Ingleby. Ingleby's jammed up, puts it over the back of his head, bounces around a bit to nobody, but the quarter is ended. So at the end of the third quarter, the Grand Rapids Thunder have expanded their lead to 11 over Magee-MedStar. It's time to kick off the fourth quarter of Game 15 here at the USWRA Low Point Wheelchair Rugby National Championships. Grand Rapids Thunder have an 11-point lead over Magee-MedStar as they look to close this one out. Engelby takes the pass in the backcourt, weaves his way across to the front, and dumps the ball off to number 25. Thunder are able to hold out Magee-MedStar enough that Rishi called for the inbound, but instead Dave went out to pick it up. Magee-MedStar calls for a sub, and Steven comes in for Rishi. So that was a turnover on that inbound. So now Grand Rapids will take the ball out of the corner. Engelby has it down low in his natural state of being double teamed again. Bobbles the ball around a little bit, is able to recover and dump it back off to number 25. Number 25 weaves his way through the traffic for a try. Inbounds from Nate to Steven is bobbled, bounces loose, and it's recovered by Engelby again. Engelby has a double team by Steve and Robbie. Steven trying to get those hands in there and disrupt his ball handling, but Engleby's able to get the ball out to number 25. 25 is now guarded by Nate. But number 22 comes to clean him off Nate, freeing up 25 to race to that left side of the key for the try. Steven lobs an inbound over the top for Nate, but Nate isn't able to bring it in. 25 comes down with it instead and dumps it off to Engelby. Engleby's going to try and back his way in, but he gets jammed up on Steven. Can't quite get off of it. Nate comes over to defend. There's nothing doing on that play, so Engelby calls the timeout. Thunder will inbound from the corner, while Magee-MedStar drop in to defend the key. Engelby has the ball once again. Engleby's looking for that B gap, weaves his way through traffic, trying to cut across in front of Nate. Whatever he had envisioned didn't work. 7 comes in to take up the C gap, but that frees up the D gap. So Engelby can wheel his way all around in the corner for the try. Robbie takes the inbound low for Magee-MedStar. Bumps the pass deep, but there's no target down there wearing a white shirt. So number 25 just escorts it out the other side of the court. Engelby takes the ball down low, again double teamed by Nate and Dave. Nate swipes the ball away, but it was last touched by him, so it remains Thunder ball. Engelby has the ball again, looking to escape his double team. He does. He's able to work his way up the left side of the court. Runs into some pressure from Robbie on the front, but is able to survive, outlast it, and work his way in for the try. Steven has the ball on the inbound for Magee-MedStar. Wanted to follow Robbie up, but the gap closed up, so instead he dumps it back off to Robbie. Tries to set himself up for Mallet, but they run out of time. That's a 12-second violation on Magee-MedStar. Thunderball. Number 22 takes the inbound for Thunder. Works his best to keep the ball out of Stevens' reach, but now Steven is hung up on 22, and he dumps the ball to 7. He tries to weave away around the left side, but he gets hung up himself on Robbie. Dumps the ball back to Ingleby. He forces his way in all the way for the try. Nate inbounds the ball to Robbie, who bobbles it a bit, but is able to eventually bring it in. Tries to throw it over Ingleby, but Ingleby stuffs him and takes the ball, and then scores a try. Ingleby has the inbound, a little bit of bobble, but he's able to bring it back in, steal the ball once again, and wheel it all around the right edge for a try. And the Thunder will take an equipment timeout. Number 25 needs a new wheel. Thunder call a full timeout so they can perform a sub. You can't normally sub during an equipment timeout, but if you call an actual timeout, then you're able to sub. So number 13 and number 11 join the crew on the court. There's currently 5 Thunder players on the court, so I'm trying to figure out which one of them is actually going to stay or which one will go. Looks like number 25 will exit the court. So we have 11, 13, 15, and 7 for the Grand Rapids. Rishi has the inbound on the right side. Driving forward, tries to put up a pass to Robbie deep in the front court, but instead it's taken away by number 13. Ingleby, 13 dumps the ball up to Ingleby in the front court. Oh, but number 11 was jammed up in the key. Got a 10-second in the key penalty, so it'll be Magee-MedStar ball. Rishi takes the inbounds and the backcourt. Looking to work his way around number 13. Finds some room on the left side to get up in the front court. And promptly met by Ingleby. Rishi tries to bump it around his back to Nate, but it was a bad pass. Neither one can handle it, and it bounces out of bounds. Number 13 will take the inbounds for the Thunder. He works his way back all the way around to the left side. Looking for a gap, finds room in the middle, shoots back in, and then is able to weave his way around Nate for the try. Here in the fourth quarter, the Thunder's lead has grown to 20 as Magee-MedStar has just been creating turnover after turnover. As Rishi almost loses the ball while I'm saying that, puts the pass up, it's bounced around, but number 13 with Grand Rapids is able to come up with it. .13 is weaving his way around the left side of the crowd, gets a block from Ingleby to roll it all the way on that left side of that key. Robbie takes the ball down low, center. Tries to put a bump pass up, but didn't really have anyone in mind on that one. So Ingleby comes up with it. Tosses it back to number 13. 13 gets jammed up, so he dumps it right back to Ingleby. Ingleby's trying to work his way through traffic. Instead, dumps it off to 13. Weaves it around, puts the ball over the top to number 7. 7 turns around, but he gets jammed up by Rishi, so he dumps it off to 11, who's able to squeeze his way in for that try. Rishi takes the inbounds. Works his way up the center, jammed up down low, so he puts it off to Robbie, who tries to bump it, but it didn't really go anywhere, except ran Ingleby's lap. Ingleby gets jammed up, so he calls a timeout. Eleven comes to the sideline to inbound for Grand Rapids, as Liz Dunn has entered the game as well. Ingleby has the ball on the right side. Looking for an outlet, trying to weave his way around traffic. Liz has a spot blocked in front of him to his right, but he's not able to work his way back to the left. Finds a little gap. Instead, he tosses it over the top to 13 for the try. Oh, and a deep bump goes right into the hands of Ingleby. He swings around, snatches the ball, and rolls it right back in for the try. So Nate puts the ball over the top. That was a terrible pass, and instead it was picked up by Ingleby. But probably the best thing that's happened to Magee-MedStar in the last few minutes is Ingleby gets an over and back penalty. Rishi takes the ball in bounds in the front court. Finds a nice wide gap in the center to exploit and get that try. Ingleby takes the inbound. He's double teamed again by Rishi and Dave. Well, it looks like there was a meter violation on Grand Rapids, so Magee-MedStar takes the ball in bounds and capitalizes with a quick try. Now 13 has the ball down low for Grand Rapids. Weaves his way back and forth before finding lots of space on the left side. Rishi's charging after them, though. He's not willing to let him go without a fight. Oh, Robbie's inbound is deflected and then recovered by number 13 from Grand Rapids. He gets hung up on Nate, but he drops the ball back up to Ingleby, who looks to squeeze his way on the right side but doesn't quite have enough room. Instead, he draws a 4 in the key penalty on Nate of Magee-MedStar. Ingleby has the ball for Grand Rapids again. He's taking his sweet time as they have a numerical advantage on the floor. Finds himself a little spot to squeeze in front of Dave on the left side of that key. Robbie looks for give and go with Dave. Dave gets jammed up in the back by Ingleby, but it turns him into Nate, whom he drums the ball off to. Nate's trying to work his way down low. He finds a gap in the center, looking to exploit it, and then he just tosses the ball up to nobody. Ingleby recovers the ball, puts it back, but Rishi gets a hand on it and slaps it back out of bounds. Number 13 charges his way across the court, comes up center into front court, gets jammed up by Nate, so he dumps the ball off to Ingleby, who in turn dumps the ball off to 11. Kate brings in the pass, loses the ball, but luckily it's stuck in his chair, so he's able to recover it. Hand it right off to 13, who can work his way off of the pick by Robbie in for the try. Robbie bounces the ball deep, looking for Rishi in the front court, and he will have him. Rishi scores the try. With 27 seconds left, Grand Rapids takes a timeout to advance the ball up to half court. Ingleby will take the inbounds. Looks like we had some clock issues, so we're going to rerun this one again, folks. And a massive departure from the rest of the game. Ingleby takes the inbound again. Ingleby puts the ball over the top of 13 with a great edge of his fingertip catch. The back of his head and his neck actually came into play on that catch. That will be a try. Rishi has the ball, looks to put it back to Nate, but it's swatted away by number 13 for Grand Rapids. 13 comes back up with it and just holds it on to run out the clock. And that will be the end of the game with a final score of 47-22. Grand Rapids Thunder defeat Magee-MedStar in Game 15 of the USWRA Low Point Wheelchair Rugby National Championships. So that's an end. That brings to an end the pool play portion of this tournament. Tomorrow we will take you to the final seeding games. Games kick off tomorrow at 9 a.m. as the 6th place team takes on the 5th place team. Then at 10:30 a.m., 3rd place team takes on the 4th place team. And then at noon, we'll have our championship game between Tier Texans and I believe the Northridge Knights as Tier looks to defend their title one more time. So make sure to join us then. We will be streaming all 3 of those games live here from the USWRA Recreational Center in Irving, Texas. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, folks. Go watch some college football, go see a movie, do whatever you're going to do, but make sure to come join us back here Sunday morning. Look forward to seeing you then.